Hey guys, it's Kip Creates. I hope you enjoyed the new intro. It's been something I've been working on for quite a while. And I hope you've noticed all the stuff I've been doing to overhaul my channel. I'd like to give a few shoutouts to some people who have been really helpful in this overhaul. First being Garchompula. He is an artist and a fellow tuber who I will leave the links to his Steam profile and to his YouTube channel in the description. He is the one who made my new avatar and made my YouTube channel art, as well as been extremely helpful in the making of my intro. Secondly, I would like to thank, even though nothing I could do could ever be enough to repay, ArraySeven. Now, if you don't already know, ArraySeven is a big deal. He is a TF2 medic main YouTuber with a massive following, and if you haven't seen his stuff, I would highly encourage you to check him out. He is an amazing guy. Anyway, he's been like my idol in TF2. I've really enjoyed what he's done, and he's really helped me a lot with his videos. And whenever I started my channel, I started talking to him a little bit, and I showed him what I was doing and asked for some feedback, and he gave it to me. And he's been giving me a lot of really good advice and just overall been really helpful. And I am extremely thankful for everything he does. And if you are watching this, Array, I really hope that you are seeing improvement in my channel and that you are proud of what I'm doing. And I hope that you can enjoy my work more and see that your influence is working and it is helping. And I am super thankful for everything that you've done. Anyway, onto the matter at hand. Why do I main heavy? And I suppose I could give the easy answer. Heavy is fun to play. I mean, heavy is extremely fun to play. If there's any character who is the face of Team Fortress 2, it is the heavy. He embodies that combination of fun and seriousness that just you can't imagine TF2 without the heavy just mowing people down with his minigun, or just doing some ridiculous dance, or eating a sandwich in the middle of a firefight. I mean, you just that's TF2. Heavy is TF2, and that's just really fun. And well, anyone who knows me knows I play for fun. I look to enjoy it, and the heavy is extremely enjoyable. And then as a class, he's super fun to play. He's incredibly tanky, he's got a lot of support options, and overall he's a very powerful class. You put him in the battlefield, and played right, you can set the pace of the battle. And that's really nice. But there's also kind of a story as to how I became a heavy main, because there's a lot of other things I did before I became heavy. Now, when I originally started playing TF2, I was actually dead set on becoming an engineer. Engineer just kind of seemed like a really fun class to me, and I had a few biases. I'm a Texan, he's a Texan, that works out. I've always had an interest in building things and engineering, that works out. Also, I'm lazy, and I have never really been good at shooter games, so having the ability to build something that does the killing for me, that's pretty cool. You know, it kind of just seemed like something that would be easy to do, and so overall, it just seemed like something I wanted to do, and so I put a lot of focus into becoming an Engie main, and I got a good knack for it. I can handle it pretty well. I've learned quite a few tricks, and overall, I've become a solid engineer, but I wanted to do more. An engineer is good, but you have to be great in order to really pull off some of the more amazing stuff, to really be handling the front line and everything, where all the excitement's happening. And so I wanted to try something else, but I didn't think I quite had the skill to do any like hardcore combat frontline classes. So I went to another support guy. I went medic. And that one I picked up very well. I've learned a lot from playing medic, and I've learned a lot from Array ArraySeven, and his videos have really helped me develop as a medic player. And overall, I became very, very good at handling a medic. And one thing that a medic does, and that everyone knows, is that he's going to pocket someone, and it's probably going to be the heavy. Why? Because the heavy is going to get a lot of kills, and he has a giant hitbox and a giant health bar, which makes him the perfect meat shield. And so, well, as playing medic, you kind of get the feel for, you know, what makes a solid heavy. And so whenever a medic wasn't needed or anything, I'd play heavy, and I'd kind of try to play it from like a medic's point of view. I'd try to, you know, what would a medic want from a heavy, and I'd try to do that as a heavy. And so I would kind of understand the balance of what a medic wants and versus what a heavy wants. And so you kind of got that unique perspective. And then as I began to develop more, I began to see greater options for a heavy, especially with the kind of playstyle I use as a heavy, which is more of a powerhouse support class, using the tankiness and the offense of the heavy in a more supportive way, but still a very powerful way. And that became very, very fun and very effective for me. And then I started getting really nice items and everything, and overall, while, you know, I began to develop and everything, I began to see a lot of growth in my heavy. My heavy has just come to stand out amongst my other classes. And with that, I just have begun putting more and more focus on heavy. Then I started watching ArraySeven while he was still in TF2, and really learning from his content and becoming better from that. And then whenever he left, I kind of felt like there was a void, and a lot of people were pushing for more heavy mains, and I had a few friends who wanted to see more heavy mains in the community. And they saw I was able to do very good as a heavy, but I was still kind of pushing medic main. And so they really pushed me to kind of develop my heavy more, and pushes that a lot more. And so I have, and it's made me a much better player. And now here I am on YouTube. And on YouTube, you kind of need a character that kind of stands out. You need something that is you. You know, you can't be hopping back and forth between 50 different mains and everything, because nowadays you kind of need like a little bit of an avatar to go with. And out of all my loadouts and all of my classes and everything, my heavy is the one that stands out. It's the one that just kind of fits. And so I took that and I decided, okay, I'd make that my logo. I'd make my heavy me. And from there, I began to really put focus into playing heavy. And while you've seen, you know, a few of my videos where I start playing other things and everything, like the first video I put out, the Late Night with Bots Fat Scout, that's me playing heavy. And from there, I've been really working on developing heavy for my YouTube channel, because, well, right now there's a rider cycle shaped hole. There's a place for a heavy main to kind of really push their way up, and that's what I want to do. And I've found that I've really enjoyed heavy as a class. Heavy is a class that is really, really enjoyable to play as on all fronts. There's a lot of room for development, and while there isn't like this incredibly high skill ceiling for things like rocket jumping, whatever, you know, for heavy it's basically just jump rev and whatever. He's really kind of grassroots style, he has this very grassroots gameplay style where you don't need any of the fancy mechanics like rocket jumping, or the kind of tricky melee stuff and whatever, strafing and whatnot. He's big, he can take a lot of damage, he can put it out back. And that really kind of simple core style, you know, it's this very interesting style, and it really shows you that even with a character as seemingly simple as the Heavy, there is so much you can do, so much you can learn, especially when it comes to game sense. I mean, whenever you go up against a solid Heavy main, you're not going... I mean, there are a lot of other players who are very, very good, but a solid Heavy main is going to have game sense like nothing else. They're going to be able to know on a dime which one is the spy. They're going to know on a dime when, you know, when something's going down. And it's because, you know, they don't have to focus on doing anything crazy. They just have to focus on knowing what's going on around them. And that kind of game sense, that kind of development, that grassroots style gameplay is something that's very interesting to learn. It's something that most people don't really think about, but it becomes integral to a playstyle as a Heavy. And that's the kind of thing I really enjoy, is the kind of things that most people don't think about. You know, the kind of stuff that most people wouldn't usually do because they don't quite think is quite as good, and running with that. And I think I reflect that in a lot of like the loadouts and everything, and I'm planning on doing a my loadouts video to kind of show what I do and kind of explain why I do it. But back to the topic at hand, really I just kind of, I really experimented with a lot of different things whenever I was trying to find who exactly did I want to play as. And while I kind of focused more on, you know, specific classes, kind of depending, I guess you could say more or less on, I know some people kind of draw the connection where, like, you know, I may have like watched Uncle Dane first, and then became NG, and then Array, and then became Medic, and then Rider, and then become Heavy, whatever. And I'd say to a degree that's probably, you know, true, that there's been a lot of influence in that area and everything. But I would like to think that the way I did it, and the way I think anyone should choose their main, is through kind of keeping an open mind and trying out everything. And I've tried everything I can think of to try. I mean, you know, all the different, you know, rocket jumping, sentry jumping, flare jumping. I've tried, you know, every conceivable loadout I can think of. I've tried a lot of things in my 400 hours of TF2, and I know there's a lot more for me to try, and that might develop me further. I might one day play a different main. I may not always be a Heavy main, but for right now, with the kind of way I play and the mentality I have, I think that the Heavy main has been, that my choice as a Heavy main is a very solid one for me, and that's one that's going to stick. And, well, if I have to kind of make a point out of this video, I would really want to say, don't really like settle into one thing too quickly. Make sure that you're trying out a lot of different options, really trying to figure out exactly what you want to do before you try to get to knowing what you're doing, or before you want to know everything about what you're doing. Know exactly what it is that you want to do, because if you kind of pigeonhole yourself into this class, into this one class, say if I had pigeonholed myself into being an NG, if I had just kind of forced myself to do it, I mean, while I suppose, you know, it'd probably be fun on some accounts, it'd also be, you know, I forced myself to be an NG and now I don't know what else to do. But I tried all these different things, and now I'm a Heavy main because I found that's where I fit in best, that's where I can be the most effective. As well as trying all these different things, you know, with Team Fortress 2, with how much variety there is, with all there is that is going on, I know how to handle a bunch of different things, at least on a basic level. Now I can, if there is something needed, I can do it in multiple different ways. And so I would like to say, you know, for those of you wondering what main you want to be and everything, I would really suggest just try a bunch of different things out. Just try, you know, what counters the class you're thinking you want to try now, or what partners well with the class you want to play as. You know, try out a bunch of different things, and eventually you're gonna find that there is something that you fit very, very well into, and that's whenever you start developing on top of that. Anyway, I think that's about all I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope you enjoyed everything I've been doing to make this channel better for you all. I know I'm very slow with the upload schedule, and I don't quite have anything concrete. I do have to say that is, you know, because of my job and because of the amount of time it takes to make a video, especially trying to keep it quality, because I want to give you all the best quality that I can possibly do. But that takes time. I've got to, you know, I've got to get the footage, I've got to edit the footage, I've got to voice over, I've got to edit the footage into the voiceover, everything, and I'm doing all this myself. And I'm doing this all on what is, quite honestly, a very, very low budget of money and time. And I'm doing the best I can. And I really hope you all can appreciate that, and I really hope you enjoy everything that I'm doing right now. And if you really enjoy what I'm doing and you want to help me continue this, I would ask you, please support me by liking, subscribing, and sharing, and joining my Discord and my Steam group to kind of join there. If you want to donate to me on my Steam, that's great. But most importantly, the most important thing I can have right now is money, because if I can start making this into a living, something that I can actually live off of, then I can put more time into making this, and I can put more money and resources into getting things to make videos better, to get better editing software, to get a better microphone, to get better computers, to just get better, everything better for you all. That way I can make sure that you guys are getting the best that I can possibly give you. And so I would highly recommend that if you can, if you have, you know, even just like $1, that you can donate that, because on Patreon, the way I have it set up, it's just little monthly donations ranging from $1 to $100 if you want to do that. And if you would please just consider, I mean, even just the consideration of helping me, you know, do this as a living is great. And I really hope to see some growth and to be able to do bigger and better things for you all. Anyway, thank you all for watching this video. I am very appreciative of every single one of you, and I am so happy that you all are willing to put your time into watching my videos and everything, and to giving me feedback and all that. So thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as I said before, if you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll get to making more videos for you. You played yourself.
He dead ringed.
Yeah, he tried, but he didn't make it through, trust me.